Welcome to the Internal Communications and Engagement Awards. I'm Andrew Thomas, the publisher of Communicate magazine and the founder of the ICE Awards. And with me, and we're going to hear from her shortly, helping make this as smooth as possible, I've got Brittany Gollob, Communicate magazine's editor. Now, Communicate magazine has been writing about internal communications right from the get-go, from 12 years ago when we launched the magazine. We've always seen internal comms as one of the most important aspects of a successful organisation. It keeps employees informed, engaged, connected, and it helps keep a company focused on achieving corporate goals. Well, you know, we only launched the Internal Communications and Engagement Awards last year, and it was fantastic. It was a great night. We were lucky to have had the support and input from CIPR Inside, the internal communications wing of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations. Their help was invaluable. And I think there was a universal consensus that expectations were surpassed. In fact, this year, we saw 70% more companies enter the ICE Awards. Fantastic growth. I'm sure, however, I'm not the only one of us who wishes we were once more celebrating that work sitting down together. But we are where we are. But let me tell you something. The work that we are going to see tonight, the work that we're going to celebrate, was sent in before COVID-19, and COVID-19 has changed everything. I don't need to tell you that. If you're involved in internal comms, you know that already. Your companies have faced the most challenging times. You've had to cope with furloughing. You've had to cope with redundancies. Your staff have had to cope with working from home and the almost infinite challenges that came with that, from communications, from IT, space and domestic issues like health and well-being. It would have changed the way that we work, and some of those changes are going to be permanent. Those tasked with communicating with their organisation's internal audiences have had to respond, and they've had to adapt. COVID has changed the way we govern our lives, and it changes the way our lives are governed. The challenges and the changes we face aren't just economic. They're bigger than that. We face a major recalibration of the way we relate to the businesses, the organisations, the employers, and the people who touch our lives. We face a massive change in the way we view our working week, our working life, our whole world of work. It's going to be a big challenge. But you know, I've seen your submissions. I've seen the insight and the understanding of the problems and the strategy behind the solutions from the winners of tonight's awards. More than ever before, we're going to need your insight, your strategic thinking, your creativity. And I know that no matter what trophy you win, whether it's highly commended or silver, bronze or gold, it's your skills that the world is going to need. Your skills and your talents have never been more important. And you know what? We're going to celebrate those talents and those skills. So let's get down to business. Before we reveal the winners, let me tell you a few things about the way it's going to work. First off, we don't believe in long, cynical shortlists. If your name is read out, you've already won. A gold, a silver, a bronze, or a highly commended trophy. Basically, if you're watching this because you've seen your name on the shortlist, you know you're a winner. However, as is the way in life, some of you are more of a winner than others. How do we decide that? Well, we're lucky to have a fantastic judging panel. Our judges, whose roles cover internal, employee and culture communications, and human resources in some cases too, had a tough job on their hands. They ploughed their way through the submissions and awarded points ranked against the various entry criteria of each separate category, such as challenge, strategy, implementation, innovation, and results. Those scores determine the winners. But it is a scoring system, which means sometimes we might celebrate a category with a gold and a bronze, but no silver. Or a bronze and a silver, but no gold. We're mainly comparing within each category, but ultimately we're also comparing work across the board, and we need, therefore, to have a consistency with those standards. It's a complicated process, but one thing I do know is that it's a process that the judges took really seriously. So who are they, these judges of ours? Well, they're fantastic judges, so I'm going to thank them now. We're going to thank Joanna Bleasdale from GVC, Zoe Chiverton from GOSH, Will Foy from Imperial Tobacco, Frankie Freeman-Day from Google, Iggy Harris from Publicis Sapient, Gian Hyde from BP, Neil Jenkins from Iron Mountain, Rachel Miller from All Things IC, Max Puller from Sodexo, Stephen Ralph from PDSA, Rhiannon Stroud from Synergy Creative, Jennifer Thomas from Direct Line Group, Peter Timberlake from Financial Reporting Council, Marsha Van Morsel from CIPR Inside and RSM International. So whether you're watching this in the office or at home, raise your glass of champagne or your mug of coffee and let's give a toast to those judges. Now, while I'm saying thank you, I'd actually also like to thank our sponsors, Carter Communications, CIPR Inside and Tint, and of course our supporters, All Things IC, the IC Crowd and Comms Hero. Now, I mentioned them before, the CIPR Inside. We had the pleasure of working with them again for the second year, and we're delighted that tonight we'll also announce the winners of their categories, the Internal Communicator of the Year and the Internal Communications Team of the Year. They had some fantastic entries, which were judged by Debbie Aurelius, the Treasurer of the CIPR Inside Committee, and their Chair, Advita Patel. The rules regarding filming and bubbles and social distancing mean that, sadly, they can't join us tonight to announce the winners of these categories. So I'm going to do it on their behalf. Right, let's do this. Let's reveal the winners of the 2020 Internal Communications and Engagement Awards. I'm ready. I think Brittany's ready. Hopefully, you're all ready too. And by ready, I mean ready with those hashtags for your various social media channels. The hashtag you need is ICE Awards, ICE Awards. Now, first up, we've got Best Internal Communications Campaign. Shortlisted are Avanti, West Coast, BNP Paribas Leasing Solutions and Home, Dentsply Sirona and Gawley Advisors, and lingner.com, GVC, Methods, Office of the Public Guardian, VGC and Proof Internal and Employer Branding. In this category, our judges awarded highly commended to Avanti West Coast, Dentsply Sirona and Gawley Advisors and lingner.com, VGC and Proof Internal and Employer Branding. Right, Brittany, it's over to you. Let's announce our first set of gold, silver and bronze winners.
Thank you, Andrew. It's a joint bronze for Methods and for the Office of the Public Guardian. Silver is presented to BNP Paribas Leasing Solutions and Home, and the first gold of the night goes to GVC. To unite the 20-plus consumer brands behind the reinvigorated GVC corporate brand, the organization had to change from the inside out. The result impressed the judges, who thought it was a standout integrated campaign. One said it was an incredibly thorough, creative approach to employer branding, impressive results, and admirable execution. Bravo.
Fantastic, thanks Brittany. That was the first award presented. We're now going to move on to Best Ongoing Commitment to Internal Communications. Shortlisted in this category, we've got Bernardo's, Irwin Mitchell, MyCSP, NatWest Group and Synergy Creative, Royal Mail Group and Linny, VGZ and Proof Internal and Employer Branding. Let's look at some of those companies that made the shortlist.
Legal disputes can be complex.
We're here for you, your family, or your business.
To protect what matters most.
Irwin Mitchell, the expert hand with a human touch.
Welcome to this week's RMTV.
In this category, our judges awarded highly commended to NatWest Group and Synergy Creative and Royal Mail Group with Linny. Over to you, Brittany, to reveal our winners.
Bronze is shared between Bernardo's and VGZ with Proof, Internal and Employer Branding. Silver is awarded to MyCSP, which means it's gold for Irwin Mitchell. Irwin Mitchell had a flailing internal comms strategy with really low trust and engagement scores in its employee survey. Irwin Mitchell adopted a long-term approach, implementing a yearly conference for 500 members of the leadership team and a roadshow to engage employees with the business transformation. Judges thought that the focus allowed the organization to identify the value of communications, which supported strategic growth.
Next, we are recognising the best internal communications campaign across multiple markets. Shortlisted here are Coates, GVC, and Hogan Lovells with Made Vision. Brittany, who's won what?
It's bronze for GVC. Silver is presented to Coates, and gold is awarded to Hogan Lovells and Made Vision. In order to better communicate its commitment to social responsibility, a key area of focus for young lawyers and law students, Hogan Lovells embarked on an international internal communications campaign helped by Made Vision. A film series documented Hogan Lovells employees and their company-supported pro bono and volunteering pursuits. Judges loved the unique approach to CSR and internal communications. A fantastic and true cross-market execution with fabulous engagement, one of them said.
Thank you, Brittany. On to Best Communication of Change or Business Transformation. In the running are AD Group and Promontory, Delft University of Technology and Proof Internal and Employer Branding, East Midlands Railway, and Methods. In this category, Delft University of Technology and Proof Internal and Employer Branding have been awarded a highly commended congratulations. But Brittany, it's back to you.
It's a joint bronze for East Midlands Railway and Methods, and ADI Group and Promontory take home the top prize in this category of silver. Construction and engineering firm ADI Group needed to unite its 20 autonomous groups as a single team. Redeveloping its strategy throughout the process allowed Promontory and ADI Group to achieve results that impressed the judges. One praised the creative and innovative approach to a challenging process.
Let's present the award now for Best Intranet. Let's take a look at who's shortlisted. Emperor, Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust and Interact, NSPCC and Interact, Sony PlayStation Europe and Interact, the Hyde Group, Voyage Care and Interact. 2 highly commended awards have been given to Emperor and Imperial College Healthcare NHS Trust with Interact. Brittany, please do the honours.
It's bronze for the Hyde Group, silver for NSPCC and Interact, and it's double gold for Interact with their client Sony PlayStation and for Voyage Care. Sony PlayStation's consumer brand is an innovative tech powerhouse, but its 18-year-old legacy intranet was clearly behind the curve and in need of replacement. Judges were so impressed with what came next. One said, Sony finally has an intranet that matches its brand and that it can be proud of. Voyage Care's intranet was little more than a document server. Following its rebuild, the company achieved over 2,000 views on launch day and saw 93% of its audience rate the intranet at 4 out of 5 stars, a far cry from the 2.6 garnered by its predecessor.
Okay, we are now celebrating the best use of mobile or apps. Going for gold, we see Aldi and Synergy Creative, Jaguar Land Rover and DRPG, William Hill and Sequel Group. Let's look at some of those companies that made the shortlist. Brittany, who takes home which awards?
It's bronze for Aldi and Synergy Creative. Silver is presented to Jaguar Land Rover and DRPG, which means it's gold for William Hill and Sequel Group. Following an acquisition, William Hill worked with Sequel Group to onboard over 400 new employees. Sequel Group developed an app that would act as a lifeline for new employees throughout the process. Sessions by employee grew by 27% throughout the onboarding process, helping smooth what could have been an uncertain acquisition period.
Okay, we've now got another popular category with a strong shortlist. It's best use of video and animation. On the shortlist we have Avanti West Coast, Community Integrated Care, Dentsply Sirona, Gawley Advisors and lingner.com, GVC, Post Office and WebVid, and Royal Mail Group and Linny.
Welcome to this week's RMTV.
Okay, highly commended in this category went to the Post Office and WebVid. But over to Brittany to announce the remaining awards.
Bronze is jointly awarded to Dentsply Sirona, Gawley Advisors, and lingner.com, and the second bronze is for GVC. Silver is presented to Community Integrated Care, and it's double gold for Avanti West Coast and for Royal Mail Group with Linny. Avanti West Coast wanted to give its staff the ability to say a fond farewell to the departing Virgin Trains brand, while also inspiring them to embrace the new ownership of the train lines. It crafted and developed a video-first strategy that included user-generated content, comments from Richard Branson, a rewards opportunity, and a link between the internal films and external advertisements. Meanwhile, the Royal Mail has run RMTV to bring its mission to life, engage and motivate its employees since 2012. It works with Linny to develop and produce its video broadcasts and specials. Because of the program's integration of local teams and its relevant and engaging content, in some locations it achieves as high as 100% viewership.
Okay, let's move on to best use of social media. Making the shortlist here, we've got Coates, GVC, and Royal Mail and AB Communications. Brittany, over to you.
Bronze is awarded to Royal Mail and AB Communications. It's a silver for GVC. That means gold is awarded to Coates. Coates harnessed the conversation around 2019's Global Ethics Day to support its Do the Right Thing ethical program. It targeted employees across the business through Yammer to raise awareness of ethics in practice, identify barriers to acting ethically, and shift the cultural mindset from one of compliance to proactive ownership.
Our next category has a very long shortlist due to the vast number of entries in this category. Our judges had a really tough job with such strong submissions. It's best event. So let's see who our judges ranked highly. Barclays, BT Consumer and DRPG, Carlsberg UK and Allman Communications, Densply Sirona, Gawley Advisors and lingner.com, GVC and DRPG, Sir Robert McAlpine, Slido, and the Hyde Group. Our highly commended winners here were Barclays and the Hyde Group, but Brittany, who receives the remaining awards?
It's a joint bronze for BT Consumer with DRPG and for Densply Sirona, Gawley Advisors, and lingner.com. Silver is also shared between Sir Robert McAlpine and Slido, and it's a double gold as well for Carlsberg UK with Allman Communications and for GVC with DRPG. Using its annual conference as a pivot point, Carlsberg altered its now-stayed annual staff presentations day to create an interactive session that encouraged creativity and new ideas. Judges were blown away. One said it was a fantastic example of how a company can engage with its people to overcome challenges and drive the business forward. GVC needed to communicate its new corporate brand architecture and delivered a live event that allowed 1,100 to attend in person, with the rest of the company joining in via live stream. It brought the whole company together for the first time. As one judge exclaimed, the level of detail behind it and the execution are outstanding. Well done.
Thanks, Brittany. Next, we are awarding the best internal publication in print. Shortlisted are Emperor, Methods, MyCSP, Royal Mail and AB Communications, Smart Energy GB, and VGZ and Proof Internal and Employer Branding. Now, Highly Commended has been awarded to VGZ and Proof Internal and Employer Branding, but Brittany, over to you for the rest of the scores.
It's a double bronze for Emperor and for Royal Mail with AB Communications. Silver is shared between Methods and Smart Energy GB, therefore it's gold for MyCSP. MyCSP's bi-monthly employee publication, My Word, has a bold, distinctive tone of voice with a tabloid format to introduce fun, easily digestible content that showcases employees from across the organization. Judges were impressed by the research process and the development of the magazine. One said, it's considered and appropriate for the diverse audience.
Following print, we're now recognising Best Internal Publication in a digital format. Shortlisted here, we have Nestlé Global and Sequel Group, Serco and Big Button, and White & Case and Sequel Group. Brittany, please announce the winners.
Bronze goes to Serco and Big Button. It's silver for White & Case with Sequel Group, which means it's gold for Nestlé Global and Sequel Group. After employee feedback demanded a more consistent source of company-wide news, Nestlé took its twice-yearly printed Gazette publication online, reaching all of the company's employees through a mobile responsive format. Despite the challenge of creating a publication for a global audience, 88% of readers praised the new content.
Okay, now we're celebrating the best innovation in internal communications. Shortlisted in another popular category, we have Arvato CRM Solutions UK, Dentsply Sirona, Gawley Advisors and lingner.com, GVC, NatWest Group and Synergy Creative, NHS Leeds Clinical Commissioning Group, Suez Recycling and Recovery UK with Macmillan Cancer Support and ADART Design, and Unilever and Edelman. Okay, we've got 3 highly commendeds from our judges here. Dentsply Sirona and Gawley Advisors and lingner.com, NHS Leeds Clinical Commissioning Group, and Suez Recycling and Recovery UK with Macmillan Cancer Support and ADART Design. Congratulations to you 3, but Brittany, who will win the rest?
It's a double bronze for GVC and for NatWest Group with Synergy Creative. Silver is presented to Arvato CRM Solutions UK. That means it's a gold for Unilever and Edelman. Unilever worked with Edelman to launch the Unstereotype experiment to break down unconscious bias and stereotypical thinking. As one judge said, this campaign was unique compared to everything else we have seen. Another added, there are no words to describe how Unilever took employee engagement to the next level.
We're now going to move to the best alignment of internal communications with external messaging. Demonstrating this, we have GVC, MyCSP, Stedin, and Proof Internal and Employer Branding. Brittany, let's see, who won what?
It's bronze for MyCSP. The silver award goes to Stedin and Proof Internal and Employer Branding, which means it's a gold award for GVC. GVC was the clear winner in this category. It delivered on every aspect of the program. Underpinning the corporate transformation was a willingness to engage with the company's global network of employees. According to one judge, this was an impressive submission. From conception to completion, this campaign was clearly delivered with an integrated mindset at its heart.
Our next award is for Best Evaluation Process of Internal Communications. And here we've got a head-to-head between GVC and Serco with Big Button. Brittany, who will be victorious?
The silver award is presented to GVC. Therefore, Serco and Big Button take the gold. Serco wanted to promote the idea that safety at work is everybody's responsibility. It worked with Big Button to develop a campaign that would introduce simple behaviors that could achieve a significant reduction in accidents and incidents at work. Its primary tool to achieve this was video. The evaluation of the impact the videos had on the internal audience would not only prove its efficacy, but exemplify an essential reduction in health and safety incidents.
Thanks, Brittany. Now we've got the best use of content. Shortlisted here, we have Direct Line Group and DRPG, GVC, McDonald's and Blue Goose, NatWest Group and Sequel Group. The judges have awarded a highly commended award to Direct Line Group and DRPG. Congratulations. But let's see, who won the other awards? Brittany.
Bronze has been awarded to NatWest Group and Sequel Group. Silver is presented to GVC, and gold goes to McDonald's and Blue Goose. McDonald's regularly features globally recognized advertising and content-focused external campaigns. But its UK and Ireland employees were not being engaged, nor were they able to connect with the company online. To address this, McDonald's worked with Blue Goose to infuse its employee portal with creative, fun, and brand-appropriate content. The new approach earned the company over 76,000 unique viewers per month.
Our next category is the best use of data. And vying for gold, we have Adevinta and Home, Irwin Mitchell, Unilever and Edelman. Let's look at some of those companies that made the shortlist.
Legal disputes can be complex.
We're here for you, your family, or your business.
To protect what matters most.
Irwin Mitchell, the expert hand with the human touch.
Brittany, over to you.
Bronze goes to Adevinta and Home. It's a silver for Unilever and Edelman, and the gold is awarded to Irwin Mitchell. Irwin Mitchell truly put data at the heart of its internal communications change program. By understanding the communications team's work and impact, senior leaders were able to better evaluate its contribution to the company. One judge said, "This is a really good example of how a company can use data to develop a comprehensive internal comms strategy by identifying areas of focus and measures of success."
We are celebrating the best engagement of brand ambassadors. Shortlisted, we have Carlsberg UK and Allman Communications, Elsevier, Royal Mail and AB Communications, and Wiser. It's a highly commended for Royal Mail and AB Communications, but Brittany, who wins the other awards?
It's bronze for Carlsberg UK and Allman Communications. Silver is awarded to Elsevier, and it's gold for Wiser. Wiser relies on an extensive network of student ambassadors operating across the country. To further develop this network, it launched the Wiser Academy, which works with 200 students across 60 university campuses. The new brand ambassadors saw an increase in referrals from 86 to nearly 1,000, securing new business and undeniably supporting Wiser's business objectives.
We've just 2 more awards now before we announce the winners of the CIPR Inside Internal Communicator of the Year and the CIPR Inside Internal Communications Team of the Year. And following that, the Grand Prix. So the first of those 2, we've got the best use of storytelling. Shortlisted here we have Direct Line Group and DRPG, GVC, Metropolitan Police Service, Ministry of Justice, and Volkswagen UK and Promontory. The highly commended goes to GVC, congratulations. But Brittany, please reveal the remaining awards.
It's a double bronze, shared between Direct Line Group and DRPG and the Ministry of Justice. The silver goes to Volkswagen UK and Promontory. That means the gold is taken home by the Metropolitan Police Service. The Metropolitan Police rewrote the script when it came to women in policing. In 2018, it celebrated the 100th anniversary of the first women in the police force. The Met Police highlighted this heritage through timelines, social media content, and historic imagery, with an intention to recruit more women, change the perception of the Met Police, and update its corporate culture to recognize the contribution of women. As one judge said, this was a fantastic campaign that leveraged real-life stories to engage the audience.
In many ways, we'd rather not present the next trophy, although the work that was submitted really has been exemplary. It was launched as a new one-off category for 2020, the best internal communications during the COVID-19 pandemic. The category rewards any structured communications program or process during the coronavirus crisis. Those who made this shortlist in this very prevalent category are Angada Siashana, Eversheds Sutherland, Leeds Building Society, and McDonald's and Blue Goose. Brittany, it's over to you to announce this category.
Bronze is presented to the Leeds Building Society. It's a double silver for Angada Siashana and McDonald's with Blue Goose, which means gold is awarded to Eversheds Sutherland. At the onset of the COVID-19 crisis, law firm Eversheds Sutherland found its typically office-based international employees sequestered at home. Eversheds used a swiftly developed internal app to support its corporate well-being program. It used chat rooms, clubs, content for kids, and fun water cooler type content to create a collaborative working fabric despite the limitations of the pandemic. Judges praised this approach. One said it was an excellent example of collaboration and agility, delivering a very positive outcome.
With those awards presented, we now move on to the awards that recognise the best internal communicator and the internal comms team, before moving on to the Grand Prix. So these 2 awards belong to CIPR Inside, the internal communications chapter of the Chartered Institute of Public Relations. The first is presented to an internal communications professional who has made the greatest impact to their company or to their clients' internal communications. And it's a head-to-head between Sinead Meckin from Hanover Communications and George Kenning from NatWest Group. Brittany, who won?
To support an ambitious partnership with Virgin Atlantic, Hanover Communications allowed Sinead Meckin to be embedded within the airline for an 8-month period. In doing so, she not only led Virgin Atlantic's internal communications, but single-handedly facilitated the creation of an internal communications practice within Hanover, a move that facilitated an impressive impact on the consultancy's bottom line. In addition to this, Sinead developed a standalone internal comms offer at Hanover, structured around a bespoke approach to IC consultancy and impact-driven communications. Sinead is deserving of this award because of her ability to harness Hanover's existing consultancy relationships and communications expertise while delivering best-in-class internal comms.
Okay, now we've got the the CIPR Inside Internal Communications Team of the Year. This goes to a team or organisation that best proves a commitment to high standards and a contribution to their company or to their clients' internal communications. Shortlisted, we see GVC, NatWest Group, and the Office of the Public Guardian. Brittany, please reveal our winner.
We're awarding the bronze to NatWest Group. Silver is presented to GVC, and it's a gold to the Office of the Public Guardian. The Office of the Public Guardian's internal communications were stagnant, stale, and siloed. It needed to transform its approach to move away from broadcasting and towards a more connected internal culture. To do that, it worked through a 9-month timeline that communicated the objectives of the IC team. It then delivered a comprehensive program across multiple channels to increase organizational pride, reduce turnover, and improve understanding of corporate objectives. Its hard work has paid off, making it the clear choice for the Gold Award.
So our final award tonight, it's the Grand Prix. And anyone shortlisted in this year's awards is in the running to take home this coveted trophy. Back to Brittany, she's going to reveal this year's Grand Prix winner.
This organization's campaign used real-life stories from the organization's history and introduced engaging content by mining the archives and enabling employees to share their stories. Throughout the countless touchpoints and pieces of content, people were key to the campaign's success. Not only did this yield engagement with the campaign's content, but it improved the career perceptions amongst women and, in turn, applications. Similarly, it linked its internal narrative to an employer brand and external communication strategy on the same topic. The ability to unite its internal comm strategy with its organizational objectives and reputation proved the essential link between internal comms and business success. The campaign was praised by judges for its storytelling and deep impact, and we are therefore delighted to announce that this year's impressive winner is the Metropolitan Police.
And with that final award presented, we draw our 2020 awards to a close. We thank you all for entering and joining us. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we do hope that we can celebrate the Internal Communications and Engagement Awards in person next year. A big thank you again to our judges and sponsors. Keep your glasses topped up and do continue to share your celebrations on all your social channels with the hashtag ICE Awards, ICE Awards. Thank you for joining us. Good night.